And we are here with you live on WFNC 640 AM. We are talking real estate with Team Harris, and I am your host, Wendy Harris, broker in charge over at Team Harris Real Estate. So today we are visiting some questions based on an old list of questions, which when you Google it today, it's basically the same list of questions. And just retweaking that, retooling that list just a little bit about what you should ask your real estate agent is what this list says, but we're going to say realtor. So number one, of course, one of the questions was, how long have you been in the real estate business? That doesn't really help you very much. How long have you been active in the real estate business? And can you please explain the difference to me between being a real estate agent and a realtor? Make sure the person you're hiring actually knows the difference. A lot of people get into this business and they don't really know the difference between the North Carolina Real Estate Commission and the Association of Realtors, nor do they understand the difference between the Code of Ethics and a Consumer Complaint Division. So make sure they understand, because if they do understand the difference and can verbalize it to you, it means they're actually engaged in the industry and they care about what they're doing. They're just not in it to make a buck. Pay attention. Great question for you to ask. What is your average list to sales price ratio or days on the market? These are questions that you see pop up on this list a lot, but we have been in a changing market. So what you, and so the stats are going to be vary just from a few months ago to today. And so you actually need an agent who can explain the changing market to you. And talk to you about actual properties in your property, in your price range, in your area, and discuss with you their marketing plan and explain it to you, the strategy for your property and what their marketing plan is, because it's highly competitive right now. We have a shortage of inventory. We have a whole bunch of realtors on the market, record numbers. And so there are very few properties per agent, per realtor out there on the market. So what you're going to want to do is say, what is your strategy for my house? Not what's the most you think my house can sell for, because each agent may, whether it's right or wrong, just be continuing to increase the value of your house, saying that they'll be able to sell it for that amount of money, possibly, but then you end up reducing your price and you end up selling it for less than you would have originally if your realtor actually had a really good plan other than just getting the listing agreement signed by you. So make sure you ask what their actual plan is, their strategy for marketing and getting your house sold. Of course, a lot of these lists say provide references. You don't want anyone to provide references to you. They're only going to show you the good ones. What you do want to do is go look at their comments online. Don't pay attention just to how many stars they have. That's not what you want to look at. You've heard of a realtor, you want to look them up, go in and read their reviews. A lot of realtors nowadays also do property management. They're going to have lower stars there because property management is just a brutal business. But you also stay away from anyone who has perfect fives, because, you know, they're just, something's going on there. Nobody's perfect if you've been doing enough real estate. You're going to upset someone somewhere. I was reading through some of our own reviews online, and you know, you have to take them seriously. They are serious, but I saw one where we didn't even represent the client. It was just someone who was mad on the other side of the transaction because their offer wasn't accepted. And I thought, oh my, okay, well, all right. Freedom of speech, right? People can go on and say things. So make sure you're actually looking at people's reviews online and actually reading the reviews and understanding, you know, where they're coming from, because those are going to give you a more well-rounded perspective of it. What are things that separate your, you know, that realtor, that client from their competition? And you want to look at things that are important to you, but you also want to look for people who are engaged and involved in the industry and the community, because if people care about their communities, they're going to care about you. If they care about, you know, what's going on, if they're engaged and they're involved, then you know they're also going to be engaged and involved in you and what you're doing. It's not just about a paycheck. It's not just about that transaction. That's going to make a big difference in the long run for you. Now, of course, reviewing documents before you sign them. Yes, yes, yes. Anything that is sent to you for electronic signature should allow you to completely thoroughly review those documents first and ask any questions, whether by calling your agent or by asking them within the software. You can ask those questions and just make sure your questions are being answered. That's very important. Don't sign anything until you've read it. Number one, always, rule number one. How does your agent help you find other professionals? You know, realtors out there, they're connected with a lot of professionals, but how are they connected with them? Do they have ownership in different companies? Do they have familial relationships with people from different companies? Make sure you understand how that realtor is connecting you with those professionals. What criteria do they need? You're probably going to need recommendations for people. So what is their basis for saying, hey, here's 3 vendors that I recommend? I can't guarantee their work. I can't guarantee what they do, but I'm not just opening the proverbial telephone book and with my eyes closed, picking out a couple of vendors. What is our basis for deciding to recommend these people to you? Realtors are not free. We are professionals. We do not get paid salaries. In fact, most often we do not get paid until after our work is done. Okay. We get paid at the end of the transaction if we have done it successfully. We get reimbursed for all of the work that we have put forward, but that does cost all members of the transaction. That there is a fee that is associated with that. We do not work for free. So make sure you know how much your realtor costs and how they're going to get compensated. That's a really important question. Ask them if they've got any guarantees over at Team Harris. We've got a triple guarantee. Ask them if they guarantee their work in any way whatsoever. And then ask them what you haven't asked them. They're the professional. What else do I need to know? Have I missed anything? They should be able to tell you if you've done a really good job or you've forgotten to ask anything. Real estate is changing. We are in a fluctuating market. Make sure you're hiring a professional. We hope you have a fantastic week. We've loved being with you this week. We love talking real estate with Team Harris. I am Wendy Harris, your host. If you want to talk more about it, 910-433-2724. Go to teamharris.com or stop by our offices on Hope Mills Road. Until next week, be good, be kind, be well, and happy Valentine's Day.